All right, guys, I'm gonna do a really quick introduction today. I don't have too much daylight left, but I'm out here again with the Traxxas Bandit VXL running 2S. I'll go into more detail on the setup a little later, but I have my 4 fastest 2S LIPOs. I had a lot more. I've tested about 10 different 2S LIPOs in this size, but you know, I had too many and got rid of some of the lower performance ones. And today is the day where I'm gonna see which one is truly my fastest 2S LIPO. The other day out here, this car reached up to 80 miles an hour, and I'm gonna run the same battery. It was my CHNL that reached 80, but I'm also gonna run my Skinz Ace drag pack 6100 mAh, a Liperior high voltage LiPo. So instead of 8.4 volts, it's 8.7 volts fully charged. And I also have my underrated Liperior 5000 mAh LiPo. It's historically been just barely faster than that Skinz Ace drag pack, and we'll see how fast it is running all 4 of these batteries on the same day, back to back. I'm at a little different spot today for the speed runs. My other spot, the wind's kind of going across the road, so not ideal. But today we're gonna run the car here. Hopefully this works out, and the battery packs did not get quite as much time today pre-warming as the last time out, so that may play slightly into the speed, but I want to get this test done this weekend, and I have to come out here when there's light traffic, so now's the time. Stay tuned, guys. Okay, first in here is the Liperior high voltage LiPo. As you can see, the cells are right around 4.35 volts per cell, or a total of, it said 4.67. When they come off the charger, they sometimes lose a little bit of voltage, but that's to be expected. And just for the heck of it, I'm gonna set the alarm on here. We're gonna go with 3.8 volts. If it hits that, it's dropped quite a bit because it's at 4.34. So if it drops down to 3.8, that's some severe voltage sag, especially in this high voltage LiPo. But that's all right. Let's see what it does. The GPS is zeroed out and reading. I'm gonna do 2 passes with all these cars to make sure the batteries do have a chance to pre-warm, and anything more than 2, the voltage is gonna drop too much and not really be worth it. But we'll do 2 runs on each pack. All right, we did hit the low voltage alarm on that second pass. So it dropped all the way from 4.3 volts down to 3.8. And ouch, only 72 miles an hour today. And next up is the Liperior 2S 5000 mAh 50C LiPo. Again, this battery has always been very underrated. It really holds about 5,500 mAh, and it performs way better than you would expect a battery that's rated at 50C to perform. And the voltage, we're at 8.36 total, and a little below 4.2 volts per cell. And the alarm set for the same 3.8 volts. All right, we hit the low voltage alarm on this one as well. And the top speed was 75 miles an hour. And we're down around a little less than 4 volts per cell. But these batteries are not running quite as strong today. Part of that maybe I didn't get to pre-warm them as much. The length of the runs look pretty good. We almost ran a mile, so a quarter mile per pass. Okay, next up is the CNHL pack. And this one here hit 80 miles an hour when I had it out the other day, but the pack seemed to be running a little slower today than in the past, so maybe we'll hit 77 or 78. I don't know. Let's see what it does. And the low voltage alarm is set to the same thing, and you can see the voltage is right about where we'd expect it to be. All right, I hear the low voltage alarm going off. The end voltage was a little higher and the speed was also a little higher. So 76 is the fastest so far today. Next up will be the Skinz Ace drag pack. Okay, I have the Skinz Ace drag pack in here. Can it beat 76 miles an hour? We'll see. I hear the low voltage alarm going off. All right, and there you can see the voltages and the speed, 75.6. I can't remember what the yellow Liperior did. I know it was 75. My 3 fastest were very close, but it looks like the CNHL definitely took it tonight. Well, the Bandit was running a little slower than usual today, but still pretty solid speeds for 2S. And more importantly, all 4 of these batteries were run in the same conditions on the same day. So I think the numbers that we got are really representative of how fast these packs are under high load. I'll go into the setup of this car in a minute, but it does pull pretty high amps. So the winner was definitely the CNHL 120C 8000 mAh LiPo here. Huge thank you to all the manufacturers who supplied these batteries to me for this test, and I have several more on the way. But this one here is officially my new fastest 2S LiPo. Now, the Skinz Ace drag pack and this yellow Liperior pack here, they tend to go back and forth, you know, within a half mile an hour or so of each other each time I run them. More often than not, this one's actually slightly faster. But today, second place went to the Skinz Ace drag pack. So this thing's a solid battery. The size is kind of unique. It does fit in the Bandit pretty well. I just put some foam behind it. Now this Liperior battery, this is a really unique battery. You can't buy it anymore. And it's too wide and long to fit in the Bandit well, but I can just get it in there for speed runs. But this thing is a powerhouse, way more than its 50C would suggest. I mean, this is a 130C battery, 150C battery, and the CNHL is a 120C battery. So I have tons of videos. I go into details on C ratings and just how they're, you know, usually really embellished by manufacturers and don't mean a whole lot. Even within the same manufacturer, sometimes you can't compare them. Like with Liperior, the 50C battery was significantly faster than the 150C battery. Go figure. The high voltage LiPos, this is the only one I've tested, but you'd think it would have an advantage, but in this case, it clearly does not. As far as the voltage the batteries were when they ran, I think all of them, I'll have to review the video, all of them certainly hit the low voltage alarm on the second run, which was set at 3.8 volts. So all of them experienced significant voltage sag, which is expected under a high load. This Bandit's probably pulling close to 150 amps, and that's enough to really make the voltage sag. And of course, what dictates how fast the RC car is going is the voltage. So the more the voltage drops, the slower the car is going to be. And in theory, if I had a data logger, this CNHL would have had the least amount of voltage sag during the runs, whereas this Liperior 150C 8200 mile LiPo would have the most voltage sag. So real quick, I always get questions on the setup of the car. Not a whole lot here as far as modifications other than the motor. This thing means business. It's my XTeam 3665 4500 kV motor. This thing definitely packs a punch, and this car goes nearly 100 miles an hour on 3S. As far as the gearing goes, I have a Kimbrough 32 pitch 44 tooth spur gear and a Saga pinion gear 37 tooth pinion gear. And the tires I'm running, I have Gone Bananas foam tires on here. Huge thank you to all my sponsors. They make these kind of runs and these videos for me possible. I don't have money to be sinking into this hobby like I do without these sponsors. And you know, almost every part on this car is courtesy of a sponsor, so I appreciate that. The ESC, this thing has been handling the high load. I've been dropping at this car like a champ. ZTW 120 amp Beast V2 ESC. So far, this thing's been great. The Valinian ESC I burn up, and so did I burn up my Hobby Wing ESC. This one, you know, I'll give it a few more months before I claim it's the best, but so far it's run flawlessly, and it's very reasonably priced on AliExpress for under $50. A link to all the different products that I have in this car will be in the video description where you can purchase them. So definitely please go check out some of my channel partners here that work with me, because you know, you can see which parts here work well and which batteries work well. And going back to the batteries, you know, there's really not a bad battery amongst these top three for speed runs. Clearly the CHNL was the fastest, but this drag pack is no joke, and this yellow Liperior pack is also very strong. I'm gonna stop rambling, but thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for more battery speed run testing. Again, I have several new packs on the way to me, and you know, we'll give those a fair shake and see where they fall in the hierarchy, and if anything can unthrone the I always do that, CNHL LiPo. All right guys, thanks for watching and take care.